Hi guys, my name is Chandler Christine and this is your December 2018 intuitive reading. I myself am a Libra and this here is Nova. She's also a Libra. She was born on October 1st. She's just a little kitten here sitting in on our reading, so giving us some good energy. I have definitely been grounding through the month of November. Scorpio season has really forced us inward on a lot of aspects of our journey, whether it be in the past or in the future. But learning to digest and make sense of that, of course, has entailed a lot of our energy. Starting new beginnings, this is a huge month for starting new beginnings and having huge endings as well. So I'm anxious to see how your November Scorpio season went. As, of course, we are into Sagittarius season come the 22nd of the month. And I'm excited for Sagittarius season. I love Sagittarius. They are a sign of exuberant enthusiasm, honesty, and optimism. I mean, they have it pretty easy, so hopefully that rubs off on us during the month. They have a shadow side, of course, and that's a lack of direction. So that's one aspect of this month that no matter what transition you're making, you really have to refine and define the direction of your course. Speaking of courses, it also has a lot to do with learning. As Jupiter enters Sagittarius, the planet of expansiveness and learning, higher education, right, big ideas. These are all going to be fine-tuned or refined this month. And you know what? It's a very cool sign. I'm really excited for it. I think that it can be bringing us quite a few really big opportunities within the month. So we'll see what these cards hold for us. All right, so healing. There's no doubt about that. We do have a lot of healing going on with the month of November in Scorpio season. Okay, so this makes sense to me. And I feel like quite a few of you Librans could probably relate here. You realize you've been going really deep, okay, down into those deeper fundamental issues of emotional and psychological welfare. What really makes you a better person? What could make your world a better world to live in? And it really is simple in that way, but it is very complex, and it takes a lot of effort to go down into those deeply laid layers, maybe in years in the past, talking about ex-relationships, prior hurts and battles within the family and emotional turmoil that is coming up again so that you can realize you're no longer that person anymore, right? Or that they are not that person anymore, and that life has changed exponentially, and for you to stay in that same emotional place is just not going to do you any good, plain and simple. We're looking at this as more of a onward journey, right, forward. Healing has definitely happened in the past, but, sorry baby, but nothing has felt so long-term like this. At least this year, I think. This energy is definitely very strong for us to end the year on. I'm really excited about this, actually, if you can't tell. But with Queen of Earth, we see very specifically what we're talking about, this long-term intuitive knowing that you have of not wanting to stay in the same place anymore. Not only that, but it seems that things are moving on and you're anxious to get moving on with them. Maybe there's a place that you have been in life that has just not allowed you the comfort of healing. It's not allowed you the space or the room to create the new. Well, things are expanding quite literally. With Jupiter in Sagittarius, we're feeling this massive expansion and optimism to create as we go, because things just seem to be going that way anyways. So it seems like you're really getting the ball on this. You're really understanding here. These changes are not just so subtle on an emotional level anymore. It's definitely regarding home and family and finance and responsibilities. This is major grounding. You think with this kitten, it hasn't made me ground? I mean, pets tend to do that, okay? And they tend to really do it fast and very efficiently, because if you are responsible over someone other than yourself, just as any kid or any child would be, You are responsible for them. And of course, then you have to be here and in the now to take care of them. You have to root yourself very deeply to be that stronghold for them. And you're doing this very intuitively. You realize that you need a stronghold in the months to come. Because what Sagittarius does is, of course, skyrockets us forward toward our biggest dreams, but without the rooting, we can get just flown out into the middle of nowhere with no direction and with lost time. And we don't want to do that. We've learned from years past. So where the Queen of Earth is really headed is in a much more collective area. We just had the South and North node shift into Cancer and Capricorn, and I do see some symbology for Capricorn in this reading already. So you could know a Capricorn. They could be a mother. They could be a motherly figure to you, very nurturing personality that comes to you this month that says, I'm proud of you. It could be that mending that you needed to heal a relationship. This is Venus also going back into Libra, okay? We're talking about big open hearts this month. We're talking about big chapters closing in dynamics of relationships and well-being. And of course, I always say that's not just relationships to other, though that's what we symbolize. It's very much relationship to self. It's relationship in general, how you relate. And so I think with this month, the insightfulness and philosophical natures of Sagittarius season will probably be fueling ours quite a bit in that mental realm that we love so much. But then to stay grounded and to really root yourself is very important. It's not what you think, it's what you attach to your thoughts. Okay, this month specifically, it's not what you think, it's what you attach to your thoughts that you are expanding. So we have a 5 of fire, okay, and this is very specific. There is an abrupt ending, and for some of you, it could be very well that you get this insight or opportunity, and then other things come crashing down. This is typical, right? When we enter a fire sign season, we as air signs tend to fuel that fire. That fire can explode fairly quickly when we're in Sagittarius season. Not so much as Aries season, where Aries is a little bit more, outward about their intentions. Things in Sagittarius season could be brewing because we're not going to be wanting to address them right away. We're going to want to leave all our options open. And in some cases, that could prolong a decision that you're actually needing to make sooner. So my advice is to not beat around the bush, not coax anyone into doing something that they aren't fully aware of or that you haven't filled them in on. This is change, okay? So where change happens, you can see a relationship dynamic shifting. And whether it's change in the home front with partnerships, whether it's a big blowout between you and your significant other, or maybe it's a reflection of the past that's changing, right? The things that have gone on in the past that are no longer able to sustain themselves with the new direction that you're headed. Okay, and that's very, very obvious to me. And just on an energetic level, I can see this impacting you for a long time. All right, so a bunch of cards wanted to come out, but I really want clarity today. I feel, very aware of this reading, and I want more, more advice from our guides. I want more clarity. I don't want wishy-washy. That's something that you just can't settle for in Sagittarius season. You really need to know. Looks like you're going to be knowing. We have the 7 of water. So this is a really good sign that where your emotions are taking you is a much better suited place for you. If there are any doubts along the way, know that you have only gone through such a terrible time potentially in the past because you have resisted where this is actually taking you. It's a lot like how a dog would beg for chocolate, where, you as the owner can't give the dog chocolate. And that's kind of how the universe regards us, is we may really want chocolate, we may really want this to go in that direction, but the universe says, no, I know you'll be much better off if you come with me. So this is you just going with the universe. I know that that's kind of a silly analogy, but that's kind of how I tend to feel about this card. Like, you're just finally surrendering and going with it. What do you want to do? You want to get down? Oh, my baby. She's purring up a storm for you guys. I hope you can hear her. Let's get a couple more cards. So this is definitely a bit of a vortex of energy, okay? You thought that the big stuff was going to happen in Scorpio season. It's not. The big stuff is going to happen in Sagittarius. Okay, where you have laid the ground rules in Scorpio season is where the momentum begins in Sagittarius. Okay, we have two cards. The Mother and Union, okay? So we were talking about potentially having a relationship issue with your family member. Excuse me, I have something in my throat. Mercury Retrograde. This is going to be resolved. Okay, there's a lot of tensions around the full moon at the beginning of Sagittarius season, right at the end of November. This is kind of like that steam, that accumulates. It's not something that you can address specifically, but it's the heat that you feel around you. And if it's an error in communication, if it's something about tension, not being able to express yourself, maybe there's a feeling of lack in the home and family area, these are going to become acutely clear for you, Libra. These are going to be issues for you to go back and heal through your ancestry and through your own family heritage. Okay, this is Venus. This is Venus going back direct, okay? So where we were pretty lost till the 16th in Scorpio season, we should fairly be rebalanced by the time that Sagittarius season starts. But the work isn't done, is it? This is calling you to action, actually, because where Scorpio season has taken you is to find the work, right? You have found the changes that you've needed to make in Scorpio season. So where Sagittarius season then leads you is to this bow and arrow type moment where you have prepared yourself, you have set your eyes on the target, and then it's only a matter of time before you hit a bullseye, okay? But you need to aim well, you need to breathe, you need to know what you're aiming for. And where the Mother comes in, I think, and where Union is telling us, is that there is some relationship dynamic that has been separate, that it has been misunderstood, quite literally, okay? And whether, the misunderstanding or a disagreement happened in a past Mercury retrograde, and there was just emotions and tension and words that were flying, and it's an opportunity to heal that, because we're coming again full circle into energies like that. So really, take care and pay special attention to the energies this month. I think that they could be really in your benefit. We see Union potentially talking about marriage, okay? So where there have been lack of commitment or just a lack of mentality in general in your relationships, unfulfilled emotions, and needing more satisfaction maybe out of your earthly pleasures. Luxury is definitely on the forefront of your mind this month. You deserve it, okay? And it's kind of like you're stepping back up to that pedestal. Like, I'm not settling, okay? But I'm going to be patient for this. I'm going to be a little bit more deliberate in my actions toward what I want to accomplish with this. So if it is a relationship, it looks like you're kind of sticking your neck out a little bit. You might be the one to initiate it, and you might somewhat expect them to, regurgitate a bunch of words at you. If that's the case, then not all is lost. At least you've tried. But I see that there could be definitely a reunion for you guys. Okay, so if this is your mother, be gracious, be patient. And it also seems as though you're birthing a new chapter in your life, okay? So what we had talked about during Scorpio season is that the mother energy keeps coming up. We have Cancer in North Node of the moon, and that's going to be really enhancing our intuitive abilities, our spiritual knowing, okay? So where certain things are coming to an end is exactly where you begin again. And this new beginning is going to be much more emotionally fulfilling. It has the potential to be very intuitive, very spiritual, and nurturing to your soul. You know, when we think of the mother, we think of the mother in the sense of the child, and how much effort it actually takes to have a child, to birth a new beginning. It's not just overnight. It takes 9 months, okay, for humans. And then there's all kinds of other cycles that other beings go through. But when we're talking about a human mother, we're talking about her energy, taking preparation, taking time, focusing her energy, cultivating a sense of community around her, collecting knowledge, getting information ready so that she can be her best and brightest at that time. Sorry, baby, I gotta move you. She's just so cozy. She's about to fall off, though. She's still a little clumsy. Death and rebirth. Okay, so this is where Scorpio season has taken you already. There is no death going on in Sagittarius season, but there has been death, okay, in Scorpio season. And then where you pick back up again is rediscovering this direction of yours. But I would suggest to take a little bit of time, because it seems you're working on expanding a lot, and everything around you seems to expand at the same time. So you have a lot of room, you have a lot of opportunity. You know, I see you kind of like stretching out a little bit, and then really considering your options. So if you're in a relationship with someone, it looks like you're definitely considering this as a reality for the future, potentially. Okay, so Destiny and the Five of Air come up, and no surprise, because what are, some negative sides of the Libran quality? When we have a lot of options, it doesn't actually work out for us all the time. You know, when we have a lot of options, when we have all the space and just everything going for us and la-di-da, that doesn't really motivate us to do the good work that we came here to do. That doesn't really let our light shine, and it actually has the potential to make us very lazy. So where you have been stagnated is actually this unexpressed you. You know, maybe this whole thing has just made you feel like biting your tongue. Maybe this whole thing has just made you feel like you weren't heard, or you haven't been justified, or have been very misunderstood. Maybe, you know, in a certain relationship, you felt like you couldn't actually be yourself for a very long time. Maybe they felt unaccepting of the truest version of you, you know, and those points come into our life ever so often, where we're faced with the reality that if we don't change now, you know, this vortex that's open, it's kind of requiring you to change subtly but instantly, you know. So I think that proves to us here that also is changing, right? A non-negotiable, kind of hardened, maybe even egotistical ways that have been set in stone, so to speak, they can actually be reverted, revised, rethought out, and refigured, reconfigurated, whatever you want to say. However you need to go about this change. It can be subtle, Libra, and we all know that you don't do things that are very abrupt. You know, that's not like you to feel like these extremes that you've been feeling lately. But I would say that they are extremes for you. You know, they are expansive for you, and they are somewhat unlike you, so that's kind of refreshing, right? It's not like you are just going about it so socially like the past, where you aim to please everyone, and you just want to be happy and easygoing and kind of a people pleaser too. It looks like you're a little bit more confident this month, which is definitely a Sagittarius energy trait. And you're taking it up with those people like, hey, I'm not here to make you feel bad about yourself, but I'm going to be completely frank with you if I need to be. And I, you know, if you're taking up too much of my time or taking me for granted, then I'm going to show you my worth, you know, and I'm going to show you that this is not who you think I am, just this easygoing pushover. You know, and if that's the case, then that's going to rearrange things a little bit. That's going to rearrange your this right relationship dynamic. We do see destiny as well. So destiny, of course, is this very vague but very big energy. So again, Sagittarius season helps you aim this arrow. So where we're aiming, literally this month, we're saying no, and we let the arrow fly. I don't care what it is you say no to. I really don't. I say no to lots of things. It's okay to say no. It's okay to stand your ground. It's okay to say, that's not enough. I won't accept this. I deserve more. And whether it's household goods or whether it's your relationship status, this is the kind of effort you're making toward your life this month, Libra. Okay. Healing. We have a lot of heartbreak coming up. So, definitely within the month of November in Sagittarius season, you could be experiencing some upheavals in that area where past lovers, past relationships are coming up, past relationship dynamics are coming up, right? If you used to be in an abusive relationship, that's coming up again to be healed. Word vomit, I'm hearing very specifically. So maybe you've had a lack of control over your words. Maybe you haven't been very aware of yourself and your words quite recently, and that's about to change. We're having healing on that level where you no longer are willing to sacrifice your integrity. Okay, so very clearly, right? We asked for clarity, and here we go. So we have the Sun and Ace of Swords. Where the Sun comes in, right, is the Sun in Sagittarius. This is the Sagittarius energy that we're talking about. The Ace of Swords being you, Libra. This is you. This is your energy. These are your words. You can speak eloquently and get your point across. Even during Mercury Retrograde, you can do it. It just takes a little bit more thought and a little bit more dedication to what you believe. This is on an emotional level. Though these cards are very airy, very bright, very sunny, and very fun, there's a lot of water in this healing card. Okay, so we're having bright ideas. We're having ideas over our emotions. We're having awareness, over our emotions. And I think that is just that beginning that Ace of Swords really embodies. It's not really tangible. It's not going to be a gift on your doorway. It's going to be instead an idea, a thought, some words that come to you, insights. The way you communicate is shifting. Now the Sun, this could involve children, of course. We have this mother energy kind of circulating around the room here. So with the Sun, we see that there's a child playing in the garden, and they're safe. The sun is shining brightly on them. And they have sunflowers growing wildly around them. So where we see Scorpio season leaving us, is in this very safe place. Though, it doesn't mean that it's not an effort from us, right? Because it does take a lot of effort to maintain that garden and to, groom that beautiful white horse and to bathe that precious baby. But at the end of the day, it is very worth it. So I'm sensing a bit of a optimism here, enthusiasm about doing the work, about being grateful. And I think that that's also very healing and the like. I myself have been feeling like really grateful lately, just for the little things. And I've been saying affirmations every day. And, when I see someone who needs help, I've been trying to go out of my way to help more, because it's been in Scorpio season where we realize our basic necessities. And for me, I've realized my basic necessities are exceeded exponentially by luxuries and comforts in my life. So that's another way that Scorpio season can really have you going into Sagittarius season with this renewed optimism to help and to be kind of a big personality and to, really shine your light like any good Leo energy would do. And of course the Sun is this Leo energy we're talking about. Though I think in the context, it definitely is representing Sagittarius. This youthful optimism, right? But kind of brutal truth, right? Brutal honesty at the end of the day, where we have to look at the truth about things. So Queen of Earth comes to us as a brand new beginning in the home and family. So where you have felt stagnated or maybe a little lifeless at home. You could be getting a pickup in energy. This could be some financial reward, right? When we're talking about Sagittarius and Jupiter in Sagittarius, we're talking about potentially a lot of abundance in the month. Okay, Ace of Cups. So this is definitely home and family. This is a loving partnership. This is a relationship. This is someone who you've been crying over in the past. This is maybe someone who has just entered your life and has you gushing, in love. So where these matters really lead you is a brand new, youthful, optimistic new beginning in ways of communication and love and romance. Most importantly, I think self-expression. The Queen of Earth doesn't do anything unless she knows that it benefits generations to come. Okay, she's a very powerful energy. And when she's coupled with the Ace of Cups, I feel that this is this partnership that has a tendency to feed each other like fire and air. Water and earth tend to just absorb and become one. So it's no coincidence here that there's this merging effect going on in the Sagittarius season for you, where things are becoming clear over relationships, finally. Okay, this could be a relationship with an Aries. We have the Five of Fire, symbolizing a very combative nature with another fire sign, potentially. This could be a Sagittarius or Aries. This person could have the tendency to explode, right? They could have the tendency to be very upset with you. And I feel it's unfair in the ways that it's coming up, and this is exactly what's changing, okay? So this is what has happened. We have a progression here that's very obvious to me, that this is a person you were with. This is the way it went for you. They had a very strong mindset on the matter. That was actually the argument. And they were unwavering. They were not going to change their opinion over anything that you did. So maybe this is coming back in effort to heal. Maybe there's a Aries entering your life that kind of reminds you of this person, and you could be a little weary of them. I'm a little weary of them, okay? So let's get a little deeper and see if this is an Aries coming into your life, or if this is an Aries that was in your life. Nonetheless, we have a lot of strong energy right in the middle of the month. Strong energy. Okay, Knight of Wands. There is a new person, and this is getting a little interesting. Okay, there's a new person where we see them potentially being a fire sign also. And what I said just intuitively was that I think this could be two people, or that I think this could be someone in the past and someone that's reminding you of them now. If there is conflict, right, if there's flying words, if there's a lot of passion, maybe you come to someone and say, I'm ready to start this new beginning. And they think, no. They have a different idea about it. This is where you need to work on it a little bit, right? If they're not completely warmed up to this idea, know that they'll come around. But with the Emperor and the Five representing a lot of massive change, and with the nature of the Five of Fire, I would just say simply that this is a chapter you're leaving, and that you won't actually repeat it for a long time, if ever. The things that you are learning, the things that you are changing about yourself, the way that you are going about communicating your passions or creating that new direction for yourself is very different, where the Emperor maybe had a stronghold on you. They maybe had influence over your decisions in the past. And I see you, taking a different direction after all, and that finding that they don't actually have so much influence over you. And with that sense, a bit of forgiveness is in there, a bit of understanding is in there, just knowing their nature, So with Seven of Water, we see a bit of a vortex then open, okay? After you have maybe gone back, to rehash some of these issues that have been holding you back, you realize the new beginning was there for you all along, and it's just this bright realization. But this is really something that puts you in your power. Trying not to smush her. we have the Six of Pentacles, okay? So a little bit of money comes in during this time. We talked about abundance. We talked about your emotional and financial welfare. Things will be fair, okay, to say the least. But I think what really is changing is that you aren't willing to beg or ask for so much assistance anymore. It's this newfound independence to say, hey, step off, okay, let me do my thing. I'm really damn good at what I do, and I think I deserve a little bit more respect than you've been giving me. If this is the same person in your past that maybe has those tendencies to demean you, raise your voice. Say, hey, but we're not going to do it in a very harsh way, not in a very combative way, because as soon as you reach that point of conflict, it seems that things could go really wrong for you, which they have in the past. How you are then going about this is by simply showing them. The best way to show them with this kind of pentacles energy is to just make it, to just make those pentacles, to just make that money, to stop relying on their help, to stop relying on their words to guide you. In Sagittarius season, you are supposed to find your own direction outside of anyone else's influence. This is a month where opinions are going to be flying, okay? Opinions are going to be flying. And you need to know this because sometimes we tend to take opinion for fact because we weigh others' opinions so heavily and we think, oh, that affects me. It doesn't. It actually doesn't affect you. It doesn't have to, okay? So where you stand with this whole Pentacles energy is to literally stop asking for food, stop holding out your hand for allowance, and to instead independently make your money, girl, okay? So with union, we see, there is definitely a relationship dynamic here. We are talking about someone who may have the upper hand in the relationship. They may be the moneymaker, or see it that way at least. And it seems that you need a little independence. You need some money coming in for yourself. So whether that's a craft, a trade, it doesn't matter really. Just start doing something because they'll respect you for doing that. It's more about the respect in the beginning of the month. So, there could be a slight promotion in the future, but we're talking about promotion specifically, and the Hangman comes up. So I would say if you're expecting a promotion, it's not so going to be like that, okay? It's going to be a little different than you think, and if you're expecting a promotion, it may not even happen this month, okay? I want to know more about union. What is this union? What's going to happen with this union? If you're still watching, you could be relating to this reading. You could be thinking, oh, I was involved with this person. All right, so judgment. Sagittarius season is going to have us letting go, okay? And that's a really big theme because in Sagittarius season, you can't let that arrow fly unless you let it go. You have to let it go, Libra. You have to release whatever kind of ties or burdens you've been feeling. And as soon as I did that, I felt just this opening. But you have to keep doing it. You have to realize where you stop yourself and where you close yourself with your thoughts. You have to, stop asking the universe and stop with this lack mentality. It's maybe been a few months that you have been going back and forth between I'm so blessed and I don't have enough. And in this case, in this season, when those thoughts come up, that I don't have enough thought, the universe is going to treat you like that. The universe is going to say, okay, because that's the only thing the universe ever says, right? And that's the mind-blowing thing. There is no judgment, and when you get outside of judgment, you really understand the universe, okay? Judgment is not done by the universe. Judgment is done by you. And a big factor here, Libra, if you're still watching, is it is not your thoughts, it is what you attach to them. So where this union has gone awry time and time and time again, maybe you've had relationship issues in the past. This is not an issue outside of yourself, okay? And in order to let this arrow of love fly, You have to relinquish the lack mentality. You have to be grateful. You have to surrender yourself to the universe and say, okay, I'm ready for love. I'm ready for this abundance. I'm ready for this good karma to come my way. You can't expect good things. You can't expect bad things this month. You should expect good things this month. All right, so, oh my gosh, Knight of Cups. She's sliding off of me. She's so asleep. It's so crazy. Knight of Cups. So Knight of Cups comes up because there's a valiant new effort of love in your life, okay? Where there has maybe been some issues in the past in love and relationships. You are no longer that person, okay? You are no longer the Page of Cups. You're no longer asking for love, begging for love, or mourning love. This is a new start. This is a fresh start. This is self-expression. This is maybe a Cancer or maybe a water sign coming to your rescue that understands emotions, understands the reciprocity of what needs to be in a relationship to make it sustainable. Okay, we get free energy from all kinds of resources in the world, right? But the main energy that we can gather is from water and air. So these two are very strong for you this month. And they're going to make you self-sustainable. I want to know about the Mother. Page of Swords. So there were some words. And it's okay to talk about this now because it seems as though there's been enough time, or maybe it hasn't been a long time. Maybe you're still considering the words that you had said, whether it was to a mother, or maybe you are a mother and your son has spoken to you about something, some news has come your way. There could be lots of dynamics here. In the month of December, we're seeing a bit of a reflection over that. We're talking about brand new beginnings, but still having an idea about them. Okay, they're not quite manifested. They're still in your belly, right? You're still being the mother of these babies that are coming, but with these ideas, these babies are needing some development. They're needing some direction. They're needing some understanding, okay, and some depth. Where the Ace of Swords and the Page of Swords really lack is that depth and understanding, that grounding. So again, we're seeing these polar opposites between the Page of Swords and the Mother. We're talking about two forces that are wanting the same thing, but coming from different dynamics or coming from different directions. We see the Tower coming up at the bottom of the deck. So this is Mars, potentially, coming to show you here what kind of Tower moment you're actually having this month. It's not a Tower moment necessarily. It's not something that comes burning or crashing down, but it is significant in your life. It is a new beginning and ending in the same because of the dynamics that are at play. We have Destiny. Okay, if you've been asking who you should be with, we have a Page of Cups and a promise here that you will have success and approval. So, maybe this Ace of Cups, Knight of Cups, and the Page of Cups are all coming to you now to begin a fresh start in love. If you've been wavering and saying, oh, but there's a lack of passion, or, oh, there's a lack of direction, and or, I don't know if their emotions are deep enough for me, or whatever. It's like, you've been going back and forth, okay? This is a very Libran thing for you to do, and just know it's just your nature, okay? You have to understand your nature. But where the Page of Cups and the Six of Wands comes up is to say, look, you're meant to be with this person, so stop your complaining, stop your whining, okay? Stop waiting on making progress. You're really going to stagnate yourself, Libra, this month if you still can't make up your mind toward the end of the month and you're like, I don't know. It's so silly. You know this, okay? And this is a part of your destiny. This is something that is much more self-expression oriented, and you can get a lot of approval for this in the long term. Maybe it's a shorter aha moment than you expected. Maybe it's kind of like you embark on the quest and you're prepared for this long haul and this really tough journey, and then you just end up like going back to the castle and everyone's waiting for you and you feel like you didn't do a whole lot. Or maybe it's like, yeah, I didn't expect you guys to all be waiting for me. It's something that's kind of a surprise. But at the end of the day, I feel like you didn't put as much effort in as you prepared yourself for. So just know that, you know, if you're looking at this long haul, long journey, it's going to be much easier than you think. Let's look at the 5 of Air. Okay, we see this card coming up to just let us know here, this is you, Libra. You always get this card when you are not being really real with yourself. When you're hiding your feelings from people. And we tend to do this because we just want to make everyone happy. We don't want to burden anyone, and we don't want to impose or inconvenience, and we're just fine. But you're not, okay? You need to start moving in the right direction. You need to start being real with others. People appreciate realness. People appreciate you when you aren't willing to settle. It's funny, too, because the moment that you stop settling and the moment that you start you know, holding yourself on a higher level or standard of being, people do too. But you have to be the first person. You have to be that initiate. So that's where we see the Page of Pentacles. We see that you're not hiding. You're not, you know, delaying. You're not worried about what other people think at some point in the month. You're much more independent. And this is that kind of Sagittarius information that's coming to us through energy. They are very independent. They are very confident. They love themselves. Sagittarius have so much fun. So we're talking about just having a light heart, playing with the month, being very honest, being very authentic, very optimistic, having those big ideas coming in, and maybe still squashing some things along the way that are an effort to heal. Where we see Page of Pentacles is a brand new beginning in business. So Sagittarius and Jupiter, anything you start this month, it's going to be successful, Libra. Anything you start this month, whether it be a relationship, have a bright idea, start a new job, you know, begin a lifelong commitment with a daughter or a son as a mother, you know, creating this union, having marriage, between the two, or, you know, anything of the like. It's like anything that comes into your life this month, it can be big, but the only way it can't be big is if you don't refine it, if you don't focus your energy, if you are just going with the wind and wherever the things take you and listening to everyone else's opinions, you're going to get lost. And Sagittarius don't do well when they're lost. Sagittarius season is all about finding yourself, finding that breath as you pull your arrow back and you say, no. Okay? Remember that. I love you. Little Nova loves you. It's time to wake up, sleepyhead. Aww. For those of you who are curious, she is a ragdoll, a little ragdoll kitten. You can follow us on my Instagram at Chandler the Light. I will link my website on the description box below if you are interested in a personal reading. If you like this reading, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will see you next time in the new year, okay? Capricorn season in January. This should be interesting. Bye, Libra.